I've made it to Manchester Piccadilly, and this is kind of Manchester's version of Central Station. Now I've just got to get myself some money, gonna have some breakfast, get myself on a bus, and I'm off to the airport. Hello and welcome to Denmark. What I've done is flown to Copenhagen and actually picked up a hire car. Good morning from Germany again. So now I'm just east of Bremen, and I finally worked out which direction I need to be heading. It took me a little while this morning. I was given some directions by somebody who didn't speak English really well, and kind of just told me to go towards Hamburg. Now, Hamburg was in the other direction to what I thought I needed to travel, but it turns out I was completely wrong, and I was the one going in the wrong direction, and the directions were good. The car that I've got, I actually hired myself a lovely little car. This is it. It's a lovely little Renault Clio. Turns out they upgraded me to this particular one. I asked for a Mini as in a micro, not necessarily the brand. And they've given me this particular one. I was a little bit upset thinking I'm not going to quite get the mileage. However, this one's diesel and the mileage has been pretty good. The other benefit is, of course, it's got cruise control, which is a hell of a thing when you're doing a lot of road traveling. The other thing is, of course, the back seat folds down and actually give me a little spot to be able to keep out in the back if I need to, which is a hell of a bonus. As you can see, my cold sore's looking pretty nasty. Hopefully it goes away. I hate colds. Well, now you might just recognise this here in the background. Don't know if anyone's seen it before or knows where it is, but I'm guessing you might have some idea. Of course, it's La Tour Eiffel here at Paris. I am just here trying to take a few photos, and as you can see, it's not the easiest because people keep walking in the background. Of course, everyone's trying to get the same photo that I am. Everyone wants to get a picture of themselves with the tower, which I can understand. It's a pretty monumental thing, and it does actually let everybody know that you are here in Paris. One quick side note, none of the jangles, which is what I call the tourist sellers who walk around jangling their little chains of tourist tat, want to sell me anything. Now they all want to, but none of them will take my money. It might be because I keep offering them Indian rupees. They look at them and go, and say no thank you. It's quite funny. I'm stuck in a little bit of traffic, and I'm not exactly in an area where it's going to clear in a hurry. The French drivers around me keep honking their horns, but nobody's doing anything. Nobody seems to be moving at all, so I don't know what good the horn is doing. I can't move forwards, I can't move backwards. I guess I'm just gonna have to sit here until it clears. Hoping it's not too long, although as my phone's died and it's charging on the car, maybe I'll have some battery back and I'll actually be able to use the GPS on the phone. We'll see. bonsoir. So you might have guessed I'm not in Paris at the moment. I am in fact in the car. What I've done is about lunchtime I got in the car and drove south. Paris is a hard city to get around if you've got a car and you don't know the area and your phone's dead, so you don't actually have GPS. Finding parking is a pain in the butt also. So what I've done, like I said, is I've hit the road, and it actually turns out I'm about 100 kilometers north of Millau, or about 200 kilometers north of Montpellier. I'm just pulled over the side of the road at the moment because I just needed to prep the car a little bit, as it is now snowing. I'm not getting out of the car because it is freezing cold. I was going to do this by the side of the road, but not happening, not while it's snowing on me, and it is so cold. Hello from Switzerland. So I've made it to Switzerland and I've stopped at a little truck stop here. As you can see, there is snow on the ground, so it's a little bit interesting. It's not as cold as you'd think. When I got to the Italian-Swiss border, I got stopped and I thought maybe it was going to be a passport stop, but it turns out what the Swiss have done is they've actually got a little tag for all their highways. So when you go through, you automatically get tagged, just like the toll passes that you might be used to where you are. What they do though, if you don't have one, they actually load it up for you. Hello and welcome from a very snowy Germany. Last night I spent most of the night driving to this particular point. I was supposed to end up in Copenhagen sometime this morning, probably about in an hour. However, I am just short of Hanover. Now, for those of you who know your geography, Hanover is probably about 500 to 600 kilometers short of Copenhagen. Traffic's backed up on the auto again. Same weather. They closed the autobahn and rerouted us all through a truck stop. It's probably why it's taken so long. For a brief but fleeting moment, the entire autobahn was mine. This bridge is ridiculous. It goes forever and ever and ever. I feel like I'm crossing half an ocean. There is still kilometre and kilometre and kilometre to go. Still on that bridge. I am here at Copenhagen Airport. Just returned the car, everything went fine. Now to find my way to Stockholm. Good and bad news. So I am currently on the streets of Malmo and I'm heading to the train station so I can get myself to Copenhagen. So I can get myself up to Stockholm so I can go catch my flight and get my way back to Australia. It's been a great month. Sadly, I'm on the way home. That's the sad news. The good news is the hotel that I stayed in last night was brilliant and I was actually able to charge my G7, which means I'm going to be able to have video recording, take photos and all the sorts of bits and pieces that I was hoping that I could do rather than having to rely on my phone, which, let's face it, takes inferior quality videos and pictures compared to the good old G7. Sweden, you look amazing. I wish I had more time. Baggage will be
removed by the authorities. Passengers are also instructed not to carry any baggage or other items not belonging to themselves onto the flight. Failure to comply with these precautions may compromise safety.
Alright, one thing that I do very well is get through airport security. So I'm in and out in a second. Got all the stuff that I need to. I know what clothes to wear, what I can't wear, what to take out of my pockets and whatnot. So I get through security pretty quickly. There was people that were in the line way ahead of me that are still back there at the moment going through security or putting all their clothes back on because they wore belts and other things like that. Welcome back to Sweden. So, maybe a little bit strange this morning. I woke up in Sweden, went to Denmark, got on a plane and came to Sweden. A little strange. However, it was the quickest way to be able to get myself here to Stockholm to be able to get my connecting flight. If I had stayed in Malmö and caught the train or some other means, there's no way I would have made it in time to be able to catch my flight to be able to get back home to Australia. So I went to Denmark and now I'm back in Stockholm. Strange.
Personliga meddelanden. Abdul Samia Marwa.
Well, here we are. I am sitting on the train station at the international terminal of Sydney, about to head into Central to catch a train all the way back out to Penrith. Sadly, it's the end of my little adventure, and it does actually mean quite a long trek out to Penrith. Penrith doesn't always seem like such a long way away, but after you've been on that flight, remembering my morning started in Malmö, Sweden, off to Copenhagen, then to Stockholm, then to Dubai to Sydney. That last little hour out to Penrith is going to seem like a long way. Anyway, I am going to catch a train in just a moment. Thanks for traveling with me.